Morning, my fellow family, friends, and colleagues. This is your girl, Dr. Charity, aka the Queen of Divas, and I'm here to give you your weekly encouragement on today. Well, on this beautiful, glorious day, as you can see, you see with me? Do you see what I see? As I've been asking you, do you see what I see? Regardless of what it feels like outside, do you see the beautiful gleam and glare and glow that is coming in, beaming from off the side of my face? That sun is shining. That natural sun, regardless of how cold it may feel, regardless of what the wind chill is out there, and how wintry it may feel, that sun is shining, that natural sun is shining with greatness, which is stated on today that you're already blessed because you're alive and up. And if you're able to see me while I'm sitting here encouraging and lifting and uplifting and motivating you, which I am going to most definitely do on today, got something for you. So make sure you tune in for the whole. Don't miss out. Don't get just a little snippet or clip. I want you to hear everything. Don't miss this blessing. But you already blessed because you can already see and receive the encouragement and motivation for today. But the fact that that natural sun is beaming on today says that the spiritual sun is shining. And when he's shining, that means the favor of God is right there, ready to come through you. You just have to be ready for it. As I told you, as I was telling you last year, you're not waiting on it, it's waiting on you. What are you going to do? You already done tapped into it. Now, claim it. Go into your territory and claim what's yours. It is yours. It is yours on today. Just tell yourself as you go through this week, it's mine. It's mine. If I want it, I can have it because it's mine. I said it and I meant it because it's mine. Yeah, tell yourself that this week. So you can eliminate the doubt that this promise has no way of coming around. And for those who believe it, while I'm saying that, let's just go into it. I got something for you right now. Today, I want to reach out to everybody. Whoever's listening today, anybody out there today that just feels like I was spoken something, and I was spoken it more than one time, but it was like every time I got told, it was like nothing happened. So you know what? I just got to the point where I'm just like, forget it. Like, it's not even worth it. that it was told last year, and that means if it ain't showed up by now, it's over. Anybody feel like that? Anybody feel like I'm just at the brink of it? I was told 200 times, but you know what? Because and then in 20 different formats, but because I didn't see it and there was no manifestation, it's over. Anybody feel like that today? Anybody that's tuning in feel like that? Because if that's you today, I need you to lend me your ear. You are exactly who I'm talking to. I want you to lend me your ear just for a little bit, just for a few moments of your time, because I got a motivation for you. I'm going to tell you what to do today to eliminate that doubt. I'm going to tell you right now. So let's dive in. Just lend me your ear. So if I had to give this weekly encouragement a title, it would simply be Live Out Your Promise and Purpose. Let that resonate. I'm going to say it again and repeat it. Live out your purpose and promise. Well, somebody out there may be saying, well, Dr. Cheddar, what you mean by live out the promise and purpose? I don't understand that. That just, what? Live out what purpose? What promise? Ain't nothing came to me. There's nothing out there for me. I prayed, I asked, I was even prophesied, I was told. But then nothing show up. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you're stating that because you're exactly who I want to speak to. A lot of times, the way you're seeing it right now is how God usually works. He gives a word and he gives it the most unexpected way, in the most unexpected format, and does it more than one time. But usually, manifestation doesn't show up. But today I want to give a motivational encouragement to everybody who is listening. That just because it don't show up next week, don't mean that what you saw 20 times last year and heard was a lie. For God is a man that cannot lie. So whatever you heard and saw previously is yours. Is yours. But you have to have the confidence and trust in knowing that because he said it, I'm going to get mine. I'm going to do my part in confidence, as I told y'all, to walk it out. In memory of DJ Ump. As we all know, he passed away, dealing with health issues. But we need to walk it out. We need to walk it out. Do what you need to do and trust that whatever he told you about whatever it be, that it's going to happen. And if somebody out there today is saying, well, Dr. Cherry, I don't understand how to do that. That just sounds crazy. Let me give you an example. I was listening to Pastor Keon Henderson, and he put it simple. God's promises don't die. And he used the example in the Bible of how Moses was told that he was going to bring the children of Israel out of bondage and into the promised land. But as we recall, for those who know the story, Moses did bring them out. But Moses only brought the children of Israel to, and he was only shown the promised land. He was never taken into the promised land. He brought the children of Israel to it, but he didn't bring them into it. He died before that. But the children of Israel still saw the promised land through the guidance and the obedience of Joshua, the one that was under Moses. So that's your proof right there. And I'm going to use a metaphor. I'm going to use, for those who, that was for the spiritual, the Bible knowledgers. But for those who may say, that still didn't make no sense. Let me give it to you like this. Your grandmother may have been the reason of instilling into your family how important education is. Grandma may have gotten nothing like my grandma. My grandma had to stop at the 6th year of school. She only made it to 6th grade. She had to drop out in 6th grade. Both of my grandmothers, none of my grandmothers succeeded and completed 12 years of school. All mine were dropouts. But all my grandmothers, both the maternal, both Lula Mae and Ella Mae, instilled in their children the importance of education. So sometimes it's meant for them the previous generations to instill and guide the next generation to it. But then it comes a time where it's us to bring the next generation through it. Anybody get me now? I'll give you my own testimony. Like I said, my grandmother had to drop out at 6th grade to raise, because she was the oldest out of 5 children. So she had to help her mother raise the other 4 younger kids because the mother was not married. She instilled in my mother was the baby out of 6 kids that she had. So she instilled in my mother because her other older siblings were really not successful. They either dropped out of school, didn't complete high school or graduate, and or if they did, they didn't apply to anything. So nobody had resumes, nobody knew how to work, nobody had any education. So my grandmama really pushed my mother and told my mother to make something of herself. Something steady, consistent. You ain't got to be a doctor or lawyer, but you got to do something. You can't be sitting here living off the government and living off no spouse or nothing. Be able to hold a fort down with yourself. And my mother did that. Not only did my mother graduate from high school, my mother went to college and got a higher education and became the first family college graduate and got her associates. Well, I'm the next generation. So when I came around, I decided, hey, That's motivation. My mama became a first. How about I come a first? We got enough nurse aides and enough caregivers in my family. We don't need no nurse. I said, well, my family had issues with even knowing what the healthcare industry was like. So I said, what would it be like if you put a doctor in this family? Somebody that can explain insurance, explain caregiving in both mental health, pharmaceutical, doesn't matter. They can explain everything. What would it be like to have somebody in the family not just care for you when you get sick, but be able to explain the preventative processes of things such as diabetes and how to handle addiction and alcoholism and stuff like that? Wouldn't it be nice to have that in your family? So I decided to take what my grandmother told my mama, on top of the example my own mother gave me, and I applied it to my life. So not only did I graduate high school, I went and got an associate's degree in psychology. After having my oldest son, I went back to school and got a diploma certification in another area of healthcare as healthcare billing and coding, and then went above my mother and got a bachelor's of science in psychology. And I've been working in healthcare for the past 10 years as a healthcare professional. Something nobody in my family has ever experienced. Not to mention, I'm in the process of getting enrolled, as I told you, for my master's to become a licensed mental health counselor with the specialization in crisis and trauma. That's more than what my grandma and my mother did together. But I did that, and I'm using that example for you today, my own testimony, to encourage and motivate you that the ball is in your court now. It is up to you to take your family, to take your kids, to take your generation, friends, family, associates, doesn't matter, classmates, to the next level, to the promised land. You need to take them through it, not just to it. Grandma and mama did that. You are the one, the calling, and that's what I mean by living out not only just your promise, but your purpose. Now your purpose is to take the rest of them and guide them through it. To guide them through it. Your purpose is to guide your whole generation through their purpose, where they are better and they take it up to the next notch for the next generation. Your purpose, in layman's terms, simple, is to be the example. And when you live out your purpose, you live out your promise, because your promise is where you're going. Because not only are you're helping others while helping yourself. Just like I tell y'all every week, the weekly encouragements are to encourage and motivate you and empower you. But on the same token, it's helping me and reminding me the reason why I come up here to want to help everybody out here. It's not just for you, is also helping myself and reminding myself that I got a calling, that I have a purpose to fulfill. And I can't give up now. I can't stop now. So today, to everybody that's listening, I'm going to tell you, go through this week and live out the promise. Meaning, whatever it takes. Everybody can't go and dive head first into the deep. I got that. But there's no excuse for you not putting the toe. You can at least put your toe. You can't drown. Your toe can't drown. You can put the toe in the water, meaning you can do something. You can take one step, because I already told you, the promise is already yours. This year, it's about you obtaining the promise. Oh, it's already yours. As I said, God's promise never dies. He never lies. So it's yours. If the Spirit told you last year that the career was yours, it's yours. But when did you submit out them resumes? If God showed you a dream of you getting the house is yours. But have you actually went out there and tried to start the process of actually trying to solidify buying the house? He said the car was yours. Did you actually go out there and look at the car? Did you actually find out how much you're going to put down and try to save up towards it? If he said the husband was yours, have you actually went out there And actually, if a friendship has came in and actually presented itself, you actually invested in the friendship to build the relationship and take it. Have you did that? That's what I'm talking about. If you say that you're going to be successful in school, have you actually went out there and tried to apply and enroll in the school and start the process of going back? That's all it takes. So today, I'm telling you to live out the promise and your purpose, because it's up to you, and you are going to guide through your example in life the other generation to even more success. And from that guidance that you do, you are going to live out your promise and be even more successful in your life in this lifetime. Just live out the promise and live out the purpose. It's up to you, because it's already yours. Well, that's all that I have for you on today, but tune in next week for another weekly encouragement. And remember to subscribe. Thank you for all who has. Subscribe to Lady Superwoman. That's at Lady Superwoman 9999. That's 4 nines on YouTube for all of your weekly encouragements. And remember that I love you, but God loves you the most. And going through this week, live out your promise and your purpose, because it's your time right now. I love you. See you next week. Bye-bye.